Where else to be in early summer but here in Paris, out in the Bois de Boulogne for the final of the 1981 French Open Championship. It's Borg against Lendl. Here's Andrew Castle.
Well, Bjorn Borg, invincible on clay, we'll see. Champion all those times, 74, 75, 78, 79 and 80. It's a remarkable record. The top dog in the world still, and this is the way he's made it to the final. It's brutal what he does to the opposition on the red clay. Poor old Terry Moore, 6-love, 6-love, 6-1 in the fourth round. Tarozzi from Hungary, quarter-final. And the Paraguayan #1 Victor Pecci, also in straight sets in the semi. That is Bjorn Borg. Perfect specimen, pretty much a perfect build for the game. So he's the man, but who's the challenger? Well, Ivan Lendl has all the tools. Physically very, very powerful. Trains to a very high level. He's from Ostrava, deep in the Czech Republic, just 21 years of age. Number 5 in the world and number 5 seed at the French Open. Now his road to the final, a lot more difficult. He had to go 5 sets against Gomez in the second round and had to go 5 sets against Jose Luis Clerc of Argentina in the semi-finals. So twice he has been 2 sets to 1 down and come through. That can strengthen you.
It's a big test for Lendl. A lot of people who think he's going to be one day like Borg, a world #1. Borg has this astonishing ability to keep his mind completely controlled. Mentally, I think he's one of the strongest players there's ever been. Perhaps Lendl has some of that. Borg has made a wonderful start here. He's hardly missed a ball and is 4-1 up in the first set as we pick it up. Not really confident still.
Borg gives you so many opportunities to beat yourself on the court. Gave Lendl the opportunity to miss that forehand, and he took it. Well, that will have disappointed Lendl because the backhand down the line, the slice, was coming in. Borg was tested out wide on that volley. And what a response. A drop volley, and he's exerting pressure on Lendl again.
I still think Lendl hasn't really settled. That's understandable. He looks diffident to me, not really hitting the ball. That's better. Don't know whether he should go in more. What do you think?
Got to pick and choose your time, otherwise Borg will pick you off. Nice topspin serve, out wide kicker, giving him time for the volley. 30 all, big point.
Still not really attacking that serve, I don't think. Well, that's a blow to Lendl, and that's going to make it more and more difficult for him to find any sort of confidence.
If you've got a computer to build a tennis player, the build of a tennis player, you'd be looking at bjorn borg.
Yes, immense speed, but it's the mind, I think, I always feel about him. Impregnable, really. 30 love, looking very much like a fairly comfortable first set for bjorn borg. I don't think he's going to outlast Borg from the back of the court. So that was very much Borg. I think that was to be anticipated, and he takes the first set for the loss of just that one game.
6 jeux à 1.
Well, Lendl's got to change the way he's going about his business here somehow. It's the old conundrum when you're playing against bjorn borg. He can do just about everything very, very well. So what are you going to do to get through him? It's a difficulty, but Lendl will be contemplating that as he sits in this French Open final. Borg, well, it's business as usual.
And what Lendl's got to do, I think, is make up his mind which way he's going to play this match. Borg leads by the first set, 6-1 he took him.
He hit me, and it felt like a kiss.
The pain of a right hook is nothing compared to the agony of defeat. When the pressure's on, it's those who can keep their heads when all around are losing theirs who will come out on top. Join them for ESPN Big Fight every weeknight at 11 on ESPN Classic.
The French Open final is now becoming the battle, really, that we all wanted it to be. And I think what's happening as Borg prepares to serve 4-5 down is that Lendl has relaxed a bit. He thought it through. He's as tough mentally maybe as Borg, we'll find out through the years. But this is a match now. Borg, 4-5 and 1 set up.
Well, you only can win 1 point at a time. Borg had enough balls, so did Lendl, to have played 3 or 4 points for most people. That was brutal. Heart rates will be up. And the first point in this very important game to Borg.
Well, that might give him a bit more hope.
Well, it's something he's got to do. If you see a short ball against bjorn borg, you have to hit it and come in.
15-all.
It always astonishes opponents when Borg hits winning volleys and moves and plays with such competence up at the net. He's not supposed to. He's supposed to be a baseliner, but he knows what he's doing in the forecourt.
Well, oh, he made it! I was about to say he'd done exactly the wrong thing there because he's just pushing the ball backwards, back and forwards, and he won't outstay Borg. I was wrong.
Well, it's very interesting that Bjorn Borg, in the middle of a rally and a big point, a big final, feels the need to push a backhand and come into the net and risk everything. Something of a change of roles there.
30-all. Set point to level this at 1 set all, so Lendl needs to play a magnificent point here. Perhaps take a risk, I wonder.
18 sets in a row for Bjorn Borg at the French Open this year. Lendl had a chance to end that run. Make that 19 sets.
And he came in again. And he was coming in there.
Avantage, lendl.
Set point again.
Faute.
Lendl threatening.
Égalité. Un peu de silence, je vous prie.
First set point, he had the target for the backhand. Now that set point, he had the target for the forehand. 2 errors.
Echoes of Solomon and Dibbs a few years ago, that one.
Strength to strength, that was a real mental battle.
Avantage, lendl.
And it's Lendl who's won it to set up a third set point. Very interesting, Jerry. Borg making mistakes from the back of the court. Lendl hitting a little heavier than Borg.
Still, I think, just trying to outplay him. I find that puzzling. But, of course, it's a completely new experience for Lendl. Certainly isn't for Borg. More Borg coming in on the important points, isn't he, and saying, look, I'm not going to give you a chance here.
That's 2 backhands Lendl has missed on set points now. Considered his more reliable wing. forehand mistake as well. 3 set points saved.
Unsettled Borg. It's usually the other way around. He's the one who tosses in those sort of nothing balls. Yet again, chance for Lendl. Oof. Well, he's played all these chances poorly, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's a windy day, but he'd like that one back again. That was bordering on embarrassment there. No time for embarrassment. Intense game, this.
Volley all right, he could serve too.
Well, finally Lendl makes Borg play a tough volley after scrambling to the forehand side, but look at the way the Swede handles this. This is tremendous movement. You've got one hit at those, otherwise you're out of position. You have to make the winner, and Borg has done it. Disappointment for Lendl.
So Borg's dodged away from the corner so many times, and now he has a point to level this second set 5 ball. Think he tightens up? I suppose he does, he's human.
Little sawdust coming from the pocket of both players onto the leather grips. Sweaty palms.
He did well to shovel it up, did Lendl, but he was dead from that moment.
Avantage, Borg.
It's become a real battle here. That's what the crowd want. And they still look to see Lendl gain in real belief. Better. Perhaps he'll sort of plug that into his mind now.
Égalité.
When Lendl beat McEnroe, don't forget, in only 3 sets in the previous round, I would have thought that would have really lifted Lendl's confidence. But it is the final.
Well, finally a passing shot made.
Lendl.
You can hear the crowd responding to Lendl's passing shot on the forehand side. He's got another one, Jerry.
Yeah, for once that was not a good idea from Borg.
Faute.
one set all. 6-4. Second set to Ivan Lendl. 10 out of 10 for perseverance.
And finally somebody takes a set off Bjorn Borg at the French Open. No wonder the crowd respond. What they've got now is a match. And didn't Lendl play that point well?
La deuxième manche par 6 jeux à 4.
He made Borg play that one more ball. And that's what they're playing for. Fantastic.
This is one of the most knowledgeable crowds in the world. Most of them are tennis players. That's the only way they can buy their tickets for the first few weeks. And I think of all the crowds around the world, the French probably understand the intricacies of this game better than most. Now, I don't know about you, Andrew, but I'm looking for Lendl to show us that he's decided the way he's going to play, and then to have enough self-belief to do it.
Trente
30 love. Perhaps thinks he'd better hurry things along a bit.
A frustration coming out in that point. Lost his serve to lose the second set. Love 30 down, may as well have a go.
The mind game here is immense, I think. Right volley, getting more ambitious, prepared to take a risk. 40-15. Yeah, good point by Lendl. He's into this match now. It's 1 set all, and Lendl leads 1-love in the third.
Commences, only the strong will set their mark. At the height of fighting passion, only the brave will dare to stand. ESPN Classic presents 4 of the world's greatest football rivalries. Real Madrid versus Barcelona, AC Milan versus Inter Milan, Flamengo versus Vasco da Gama, Boca Juniors versus River Plate. So come with us to Spain for Height of Passion, the never-ending war, Real versus Barcelona. Tuesday at 8 on ESPN Classic.
Well, I don't know. I just feel that Borg is now facing a rather different opponent. I think Lendl's finally settled down. After all, this is the final of the World Championship on clay, the French Open. Yes, beautifully worked it out. Good defence by Lendl.
15-0.
Tennis on clay. It's about momentum at the moment. Ivan Lendl has it, having won the last game of the second set and won his opening service game. Can he keep that momentum going now? This is the time for Lendl to strike if he can. It's with him at the moment. Because the serve isn't such a big factor on the clay. That's why it's more about momentum.
I think, you know, I'd like to add to your little list of the things that make the great clay court players an imperturbability. You know, they're prepared to go out there for hours and it doesn't bother them, apparently. That's a good service game here from Borg. Love game to Borg. Lendl got his feet in a bit of a twist there.
That's a very, very important game for Borg to play well and to win. Stop Lendl in his tracks with that one. Imperturbability. I shall look that one up. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's vital. I mean, you're not going to go out there and hold easy service games. You're going to have to work for every single point. Every point is expensive physically. So you've got to be in great shape, and you've got to take the slings and arrows.
Perfect approach. In the middle of the point, though, I just felt that Lendl, who I think had been hitting the ball with a little bit more aggression, lost his self-belief again there, right in the middle of the point. Which is probably why he hit that one like that.
It's that a high bouncing ball mid-court. Before he went on court, Lendl will have been telling himself, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Take the ball early and get in. You can't stay at the back with Borg all day. You will lose 60% of the points at least. That's great backhand.
30-15.
See, the other thing, Jerry, is that Lendl was a 16-year-old buried in the heart of Czechoslovakia when Borg was already a legend, so he's got that to deal with.
Absolutely. Yeah, the way to do it. Give it the treatment. That, I think, is where Lendl is beginning to lift his game. When he gets a short ball, instead of just pushing it, as if he wasn't quite sure whether he should hit it, he is attacking the ball more. 40-30. right line, I think. Oh, one of the best points he's played.
Jeu lendl. Balle neuve. Balle neuve.
Well, I just looked up quick enough, Jerry,
Par 2 jeux à 1.
to see that passing. So I was so busy watching Borg and what he was doing in that rally. His footwork is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, he's playing well, but just watch Borg's footwork here. Just look at it. It's like Nureyev dancing for me. It's just, he's so light on his feet around the court. Just look at this. This is the blueprint for every double-handed backhand. Getting back into court, bouncing his way back in. There's the slip. Otherwise, he probably would have tucked this one away. Has to get out of the way and make the forehand. Now he's a little bit out of position. Lendl sees that and sticks it down the line. So you can see the ballet that is going on between these two. And well, he could have come in on that one. I think he elects to come in on this one into the backhand corner, and that is just enough round the outside of the ball for the winner. A fascinating contest this between the boss on the right-hand side of the screen and the baby boss on the left, because he's playing a magnificent match, Ivan Lendl. He's doing himself proud.
I think another thing, you know, when you consider it, is they look across the net at each other, which they will occasionally. Neither can read anything into the other's features. They're both completely inscrutable.
Borg has no mind. I mean, he clearly can't. With the record that he's got, virtually invincible at the French Open. An absolute legend in the locker room. Lendl, strong, fit, excellent stroke production, but sort of hollow eyes. Where's the emotion in that? Nothing for an opponent to read.
Because we've got two machines out here in one way, and when you say it like that, it really doesn't flatter them very much. And yet, their ability to close their minds so completely to all the atmosphere, all the world's press, television, they're all here. As I said, the clay court championship of the world, though not officially, there isn't such a thing, but everyone knows that that's what it is. And to them, this is the business, and they both have this ability to shut everything out. Borg serving 1-all, 1-2.
Zéro, 15.
Interesting little drama played out within the larger one there. That second serve from Borg, which set up the point so beautifully. Risky business down the middle, nothing to spare. Borg's previous service game and on this one, Lendl will be disappointed to be making mistakes. Had the momentum coming in from that second set.
He's been giving Lendl's backhand a bit of a working over, but that's Borg. Suddenly when you think, oh, well, you know, that's his pattern now, he'll change it.
And he hits the ball hard too, make no mistake about it. Lendl's trying to throw the ball up high with topspin, making Borg work.
2 games all, third set, 1-all. And this is really building every now and again. You get the feel, don't you, Andrew? This, you know, this might be the heart of it all.
Full house in and an hour and 40 minutes played. Hot day.
And having said that this might be the heart of it all, it may well be this is a final with many hearts. We'll find out. I think Lendl's forehand is the shot that really is prepared to take the chances on. He really does get behind it.
Errors are flowing now, though.
Yes. But that often happens, doesn't it? With the shot you feel you can hit in all the time, you often hit out.
Now he's tight. And a wee bit angry to lose that first point.
Borg was so fast.
Sub 11 seconds.
Absolutely. And Lendl in a spot of bother. Love 30. 2-all, third set, 1 set all.
We set the point up absolutely beautifully for that short ball. Here it is, open stance, double-handed backhand, takes the left hand off the racket as he comes through. Somebody do a sculpture, somebody paint this. It's beautiful to watch.
330.
Beautiful to watch if you're not down the other end.
Oh no, he was clumsy on his feet there, taken by surprise, I think. 15-40, and indeed this probably is a highly significant point in this final, and he needs to get his first serve in for a start, because now there's a lot of pressure on that one, and it wasn't very good.
He made errors earlier on in the game, particularly on his forehand side. It's been on his mind throughout this game. He saved one break point. He'd like to hit the big serve, but if he misses it, he's at a disadvantage.
30-40.
And a very crucial moment again.
Yeah, forcing Borg again. He does that so many times, but always taking his opponent by surprise, and that may indeed be a crucial point. A break to Borg. Borg 3-2 at 1 set all.
Get behind the wheel of motor racing's greatest cars. Race the circuits that put F1 on the map. And sit alongside its most famous names. ESPN Classic presents a documentary series that puts you at the heart of motor racing history. Racing Through Time, tonight at 6 on ESPN Classic.
But out.
Time.
With Borg leading 3-2 at one set all, this would be the time, standard time. Philippe Chatrier, right in the middle of your picture there, the president of the French Federation. A man who's done magnificent things for world tennis and particularly French tennis. But it would be standard Borg now if he started really to put his foot on the young challenger Lendl.
Great, the good and the graceful, the elegant, the stylish, they're all in the house here and they know what they're watching. What they've seen is Ivan Lendl gain the momentum by winning the second set and then lose it somewhat, notably in the last game.
You know, inveterate Borg watchers would know that in his mind that there's no clock at all. It's timeless, it can go on forever, so he doesn't feel under any pressure himself. This is what he does. And of course Lendl knows that, which makes it more difficult for him. Yeah, nice idea. Something new.
30-15.
Some of the crowd thought that was on the line. Do you think Lendl's just trying to change it a little bit?
Yes, a few slice backhands coming in, firm push backhands, keeping Borg back. Throwing in a little bit of topspin as well. Big point this. Borg was 30 love up. Then it was 30 all, now it's 40-30. What you said earlier on is absolutely right, Jerry. This is a match player. And Lendl is too, but Borg, the king of all match players.
Yes, I think he is. Little acceleration there, not to be seen. It was in Borg's intensity, and that's Borg. That's the essence of this man.
Borg mène par 4 jeux à 2.
At the end of the second set, Borg was rushing himself, making one or two errors, tactically coming in, perhaps getting past, missing a volley. And that time, do you see what he did? Big point that was. He just stuck there and said, okay, if you want to win the point, you take the risk. That's where Borg does his winning. Now he's established a 4-2 lead in this third set.
Yeah, you wouldn't describe either of them as fanciful players, but if you couldn't play a short angle drop shot there, then you'd have no inventiveness at all.
Lendl will have a look at that.
Borg, head down. The Swedes say of him he's got ice in his stomach. Andrew Castle might be able to say that in Swedish. Isi magen, is it, or something like that?
I don't have that.
Oh, right.
Now, they're not a race that shows a great deal of emotion when they're participating in sport. They're known to be disciplined, fit, strong, and prepared.
Borg now deep in his familiar bunker of concentration, not to be disturbed.
Never mistake him, either players actually, in this final,
No.
for an Italian, would you?
No, you wouldn't. Borg pulling away. 5-2 at 1 set all. Borg pulling away, but you wouldn't have noticed, would you? He's just done it while we were looking, but we didn't see it happen.
Pretty sure that Ivan Lendl felt it happening in that 3-2 game when he made a couple of errors. Almost 2 hours out on court, 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Paris, and an enthralling final. It is still incumbent upon Lendl to make this match close. Borg has put himself firmly in the driving seat here, and he's done it with his tremendous footwork. He's upped the pace from the back of the court a little bit, and why don't we just enjoy this again? One of the game's legends here. How many times has he done the French Open and Wimbledon double? That's extraordinary given there were just a few days, few weeks between those two very differing tournaments. Reigning Wimbledon champion, and just a physical specimen. Look at the back. It's a V coming up from the waist. Huge right arm, and it has to be to wield this massive wooden racket that he uses. He strings it in gut, extremely tight. That has the effect of giving good power off the sweet spot, but the sweet spot is very small.
No system birthed Bjorn Borg, did it?
Oh no, he hit tennis balls. And he hit more of them, and then more of them. This is a part of a winning Swedish Davis Cup team at the age of 15. There's a natural talent there, physically. Mentally, we know he's strong as well. No, you wouldn't have coached that double-handed backhand, but actually, it's just about perfect.
And you wouldn't have taught that mind either, would you?
It's chess. It's like a game of chess going on out there for Borg. Lendl's got a lot. He's got a lot to think about.
Borg here now, serving 5-2 to take a lead of 2-1. Close.
Well, I have to say, that's 3 of the most horrible-looking backhands I've ever seen. Lendl just shoving it around, trying to change the angle and the pace. So you get to a point in a set like this where you feel like it's gone. So you may as well try a few things. Maybe you can break your opponent's rhythm. So he's thinking out there.
Yeah.
15 all. You can almost hear the crowd purring about this because they understand it. looking unsettled more and more. Lendl's got to have a big think about this. Yeah, he takes the lead, does Bjorn Borg, 2-1, which is where he's used to being in control. I think for Lendl now, this is a real test, an examination of quite how much mental strength he's got.
Twice during this tournament, Lendl has been in this position, 2-1 down, and he's come through both times. He knows he can do it.
Well, that was not a very good forehand volley.
15-0.
Borg hangs his head almost in shame, but not that, because that's the way he just walks around the court. Any sign of Lendl changing anything?
No, he's missing the court at the moment. He's just making mistakes. It's no more or less than that. And if he doesn't cut it out, he's going to lose.
And that, I think, is a confused mind showing itself. Oh, yes. Lendl going back there early in that point to trying to beat Borg at patience.
Oh, what sort of a backhand is that? I mean, it's just, it's heaven on earth, Jerry. It really is. The most beautiful backhand. Lendl hit a good, big, wide kicker and was following it in. And there's the advantage, perhaps, of two hands on the racket. Great angle from Borg.
30-all must hold his serve here, surely. That's a good serve. But to drop his serve now, he would be in desperate trouble. That's way out. Borg leads by 2-1. Lendl's held his serve at the start of the fourth set.
Serie A is more than just the home of flamboyant Italian football. It's the home of incredible passion and unforgettable skill. Cheered on by some of football's most fanatical fans, where blowing your cool off and on the pitch is expected, and great goals are demanded. All the action from Italy's Serie A. Saturday at 8 on ESPN Classic.
Well, now, Lendl may have, I say may have established some sort of foothold here. He's got to. Fourth set, early in the fourth set, Lendl's held his serve. This is Borg at love 1. Dorfman. Jacques Dorfman, the umpire's chair, is not only the championship director, but always does the final here at Roland Garros.
That was a sweet exchange between these two players. Now, against anybody else, a little drop shot here would have been just fine, but Lendl knew where Borg was, and that was motoring at many, many miles an hour to where Lendl wanted to hit it, so he got away with that. Did Ivan?
Point completely out of character.
See, it'll drive you mad, Borg volleying, because you're convinced when you look up with the technique that Borg has that he should be missing 1 or 2 balls, but he doesn't. Just sort of shoves it in the court and makes you hit another one and shoves it again. And he's got a much better serve than people give him credit for. We've seen that over the years. Quick motion, ball gets in the air quick, the arm's fast. It's difficult to get a read as a receiver.
1 game all. Just who he is by reputation is one of his greatest strengths.
Here's that service motion. Both arms up quickly, fast racket through. Loose racket head as well. That's always a key to disguising your service motion. Loose wrist, loose forearm.
I would say, you know, Andrew, if there was any doubt in some people's mind about Lendl quite where he might establish himself near the top of the game, the fact that he's been able here today to go out at the final of the French Open and take on the man who's way ahead of everybody else on this surface here, and just play him at very much his own game, says, I think, an enormous amount for who Lendl is himself as a very, very obstinate person.
Yeah.
21 years of age. He's been a star for a couple of years now, a fine junior career as well. Hungry, that's what he is. He's hungry for success. You can all see it etched onto his face. Well, he was pushed way back here. Borg, great slide, great control deep. Lendl had to make this one. Had about a foot to aim at and found it.
Yeah, I like the way Lendl played that point. I think that's the most aggressive point he's played. He really did put some stick on that ball.
40-15.
you think back to the way he was striking the ball for the first hour of this match, he really wasn't doing a lot more than push it.
Lendl, one of the first to use one of these polycarbon rackets. Borg staying with wood. Powerful racket, powerful hitter. New generation.
Lendl.
Well, Lendl is playing, I think, now just about to his peak. 2-1, fourth set.
Lendl mène par 2 jeux à 1.
Borg, 2 sets to 1.
Yeah, new rackets coming out all the time, offering extra power, new training techniques. The game moves on. Borg steadfastly refusing to entertain any prospect of using any racket other than the one that has brought him so many titles, including, what, 5 French. Just pulled out wide on that backhand side. See, that's where one of the newer rackets, slightly larger heads, can help you. You can get back into court, and there's power out there. Once you get pulled out, you can get back in and start controlling the rally once more.
One of the things you were talking about Lendl having the desire. One of the things that's been said through the last decade about the Czechs, other players from the Eastern Bloc, is, you know, the tennis is one where they can get out. Therefore, that would be a motivating point for him. But Borg wouldn't want to get out of Sweden. It's a totally different motivation.
Yeah, there's no doubt that the hunger with Lendl, of course, is to travel. There are untold riches for international sports stars, and this is one way perhaps he can change his circumstances. It's going to be a pattern which is followed. I mean, this is just human instinct to better the circumstances. Now, early stages of this fourth set, Jerry. Let's see if Lendl can get going in one of Borg's service games. Good, that's very good.
0-15.
Now, Borg knows that anything short's going to get the treatment this game now.
Certainly hitting the ball harder. I thought just now, incidentally, when Borg came out at the end of the change of ends, the crowd were beginning to show whose side they were on. I think it's Borg, and I think it's because the French have such respect for him. Borg, I wonder, getting a bit uneasy.
He just hit the frame on a volley. Lendl has upped the power. And he's on the verge of an important breakthrough here, Lendl.
About 40. Oh, double bounce.
Made him play a tough ball, though, Lendl. That's the right thing to do. Borg remembers that the next time he comes into the net, I can assure you. Still a couple of break points then.
And you just wonder, for the first time, at least I do, can Lendl breach the impregnable wall, can he?
Well, I said it earlier, Jerry. He's been down 2-1. He's been tested, Lendl, throughout this championships. 2-1 down twice. I mean, you stare into the abyss of defeat, failure, and he has come through both times. That strengthens you. Borg has not been in a match at this French Open anywhere near as difficult as this one.
This is shaping now towards a 5-setter. Boy. Well, he wasn't decisive enough.
0-15.
That stubby little backhand from Lendl is bringing some rewards. Short, flat, nothing ball.
30-15, every now and again signs of a freer Lendl. He's all right, he'll live.
Fanta.
Three 130 all. 2 sets to 1 down. Chance of going to a final set. Got to play a tight point here. Nearly did.
Still got 5 fingers, that Philip?
That really was a terrible approach shot there. And Borg breaks back.
Well, it was the first point that set it up again, Jerry. The first point of a game establishes what is going to happen later on. And this was just a little bit nervous. It was a complete miss-hit in the middle of this rally, which didn't make Lendl's life any easier. The forehand from Lendl there, that's the miss-hit off the bottom of the racket. The ball gets up a little bit too high. And Borg is going to pick you off, I would say, 95 out of 100. He's going to pass you on that if you make an approach that he has predicted.
Now, what interests me here is what that did to Lendl.
Well, he had 3-1, so he'll be extremely disappointed. Again, it's that loss of momentum. 3-2 now, Lendl in the 4th set. He's still in there. He's got to start thinking positively again, make himself think positively. You know, players go through all sorts of different emotions when they're in the middle of a service game or a receiving game, or, you know, some of them count, some of them do songs that they're popular at the time, little ditties. You might have seen a commercial the day before on the television in the hotel. It's all sorts of things that go through the mind. I mean, you think the most peculiar and psychotic things when you're out there, and we can just predict, as the crowd can, exactly what's going on between the ears, because that is where this match is being fought.
Time.
Here's a key game, I think, coming up here, particularly for Lendl. I think this is a key game. It had the break, Borg's come back.
And the crowd are with Borg, because crowds don't like change very much. This is their champion.
I think that's it. I think it's because he's not just a champion, but he's won it 5 times. So, yeah, he's their man, whether he's a Swede or not. Lendl's got to play well. Mental strength he needs.
42-0.
There wasn't one moment in this rally that Borg wasn't in charge. And the overheads, functional, deep, well directed.
Garros.
40 love. Paul's going to level it again at 3-all. And if he does, then I think the question arises, who's the Iron Man in the game this year? Because this is where the Iron Men win. Bit of despair.
I was just thinking back to what you just said, Jerry. 40 love, and he's going to level at 3-all. That is, if I may say so, the most dangerous thing that somebody who's playing a match could possibly think. And it's the most natural thing in the world. I mean, in this case, it has become 3-all. But Borg never thinks the game is over until he has it won. And this is why he is the Iron Man.
What's going on in lendl's mind at the moment? How desperately do I want this? How much more can I dredge up? 3-all.
You're not offended, are you?
Never offended. That was great. It really hit the ball, then found the real touch shot. Well done.
Here we go. One of these sights in sport. Look at this. Right leg will come out. Shtoom. Still makes his opponent play one more ball. Lendl equal to it that time. My goodness, he's fast around the court. You've never won the point.
Never looks at the crowd, ever. Never looks at the crowd, just down on the court.
That's right.
That's called concentration.
God, Lendl will be disappointed. Good passing shot, dipping at Borg. Perfect drop volley.
Wow.
15-30.
That drop shot, that previous point. It's 30 love, Lendl serving. You're in real trouble. He had to make it, Borg, and he did. And now look, 15-30. He's on him.
Faute. La balle est bien plus loin.
Anger, I think, in there. Didn't do him any harm at all. 30-all. Oh, he made it. Magnificent shot. In that game, I felt Lendl's resolve just for a few moments was sorely tested. And he stood up and he was counted. And he may be 2-1 down, but he's ahead again, 4-3.
There's only one sport that man has played on the moon. But luckily, you don't have to travel so far to see it. Spirit of Golf. Friday at 10 on ESPN Classic.
4-3 to Lendl, fourth set, Borg 2-1. I felt, Andrew, that was a key game for Lendl in the last game, because I felt if it had gone wrong, then it was over.
Well, I'm pretty sure he felt exactly the same way. So a couple of big forehands and helped out with the big serving. Points that he needed to win, and he did. So now at 4-3, he's got a bit of a spring in his step. That's a horrible start to a game. The foundations are laid for Lendl to mount an attack now. First point of games, very important.
Do you think, as I do, that Lendl, that the Borg tends to come in most when he's in a spot of bother?
Yeah, he's saying to the opponent, pass me if you can, and that was a fine passing shot from Lendl there. Big point. Again, Borg with the drop shot.
Once again. 15.
Yes.
I just slightly wonder what Borg's up to. He's become more inventive, slightly more aggressive, being a bit more risky. What does that say?
I think they're both upping the pace, and I think Lendl has the stroke production and the power to actually hit through Borg occasionally. You watch Lendl here, he's going to try to get hold of one probably. Wide. Lendl knows it was out. Shot his eyes up to Borg. Crucial moments now.
That was just about the only time they'd ever actually eyeballed each other. Not like Borg, that.
Strange game right from the word go. from Bjorn Borg, a little bit uptight, and this shows us something about what he thinks about Ivan Lendl down the other end. I mean, most people in this draw, even though it's the French Open, Borg could go out there, play whatever tennis he wanted, and he's going to cut through them, not Lendl.
So now another question, and again it's about Lendl, because we just don't know about him. He probably doesn't know about himself either. Is he going to get scared at a situation of such potential here? He can take it now. If he holds his serve here, he'll take it to a final set. Then anything can happen.
Lendl just cannot believe that Borg is just so flexible up at the net. Half volleys, drop backhand volleys, and again, first point to Borg, pressure on.
Borg's a better athlete, isn't he?
Now that is an error that will live with Bjorn Borg. I mean, second serve, love 15, big point.
Lendl needs steel here. Again.
Just been given an early Christmas present there.
What? Nearly into a final set. 30-15. All. Now, some people would say no one point is bigger than another. Don't you believe it? This is a huge, huge point. 30 all, serving to take this final to a final set. Is it? Yes! Magnificent point by both of them.
Well, it's all about asking questions, and Borg was doing all the asking here. Lendl's footwork, phenomenal. The racket almost behind him on the backhand side, but he's managed to hook it down the line. And now, he'd like a big serve. A point for a fifth set.
Oh yes, had the courage to go for it. Open the court up, there was the gap, the hammer forehand, and it's been a long, long trail back. But Lendl, after just over 2.5 hours, has taken this French Open final to a fifth set.
And this is the way he did it, Jerry. Second serve, found the court with it, a bit nervous, short ball on the forehand, right, I know what to do with that. And he belted it down the line. 2 sets all, and that's what they're playing for.
Well, the crowd have got what they wanted, a long final. It's gone to the fifth set. It's been a wonderful achievement for Lendl. He's really stamped on the game that he's here, near the top, challenging the best. But Borg is 3-love up in the fifth set.
trying to establish himself in a fifth and final set against Bjorn Borg. And reverting to type, Lendl, staying back, laying the anchor down at the back and saying, okay, move me if you can. It's a dangerous game to play against Borg, but it paid off on that point. And that one.
Yes, I don't know about Lendl's body language. I can't quite work that one out.
He's just trying to relax and just hit through every ball. And this is his final throw of the dice here.
Quite immovable. Lovely little bit of feel there on that volley he played. In all this tension, and so near yet another French Open Championship. It will be his 6th if he gets it. This is one of the greats. Make no mistake about that. One of the greats. Whoever succeeds him.
More evidence of a relaxed Lendl here. You know where you are in the 5th set. You know where you are when you're 3-love down to Bjorn Borg in the final of a Grand Slam. You just got to play now and hope that Borg falls off his pedestal a little bit.
I was just thinking, Andrew, in the plight that he's in, Lendl, he could become dangerous, but that last point suggests he won't.
A lot of people have played Bjorn Borg with no hope at all and have played very well.
Miles they've run, the depth of concentration, the desire.
That chain has been troubling him for a couple of hours now. It's getting wrapped up with one of the buttons on his shirt. Borg fiddling with his wristband and taking some chalk out of his shorts pocket there for the grip. If Lendl loses this game, he's probably done.
Borg is quite simply phenomenal.
Yes, come into my parlour, said the spider to the fly, and then suddenly Lendl finds himself in real trouble here. Saw the forehand opportunity and missed it. Well done, Lendl. Very, very well done. His French Open was run if he lost that point. Big serve down the middle. And really, when you get into a situation like this, what you want is a couple of big serves to get you out of it. No tennis required, just a couple of big serves. That's what Lendl needs right now.
Deuce. Rushed it.
Avantage, Borg.
The ball can... Well, if he hasn't done already, he can collar it right here.
Faute.
Gracious me. Speed after all this time, all the miles they've run.
Borg all over the baseline. Lendl sees an opportunity to come in this rally. And when he does, he's just being sucked in once again. There's the forehand, deep. Look where Borg is in the court. Out, tram lines. Knows where this one is going, so off he comes. Right leg comes out here.
Borg
There.
mène 4-0.
And he stays on balance and finds the gap down the line. I mean, it's just incredible.
Surely now, it has to be Borg. That was
Un peu de silence.
a stupendous point for him to make that get.
Surprised he didn't volley it.
3 hours, 3 hours. Wow.
Well played, Ivan Lendl.
Yeah, I think he's run out of strategies. He just wants to stay out there and hit the ball over.
Well, it's a good start.
On the line, see the smudge? Wipe the line. You have to think about the crowd too, don't they? I mean, they've been watching this enthralled, riveted all this time. Gives them a moment just to sort of say something quickly to release some tension.
Oh, well, that's point to Lendl. That is a really horrible time for that to happen. That's what that sawdust is for. Just when the racket flicks through, sometimes it can fall out. You take a close look at the racket head in situations like this, because it will often break. I'm surprised Borg didn't try and kick it over or something. I mean, at this point, he's not into making errors. And he's had one forced upon him there.
Eyes down, looking nowhere, just at the court.
Makes you think about it on the serve after your racket comes out like that. Yeah, it's great forehand again. Good forehand work from Lendl. Deep into the backhand corner and then the put away. That is from page 1 of the Ivan Lendl playbook. There it is. Reverse forehand, and he's got choices on that one. It's a must-win game for Lendl, and he's in pole position.
Well, he simply had to win the game. His resolve remains just admirable. And so the question is now, has he got anything left here that he could possibly do to alter what may be the inevitable result of this final? We're going to find out.
Get on the streets with the And One Tour. Join the search for the new big thing in street ball. As old school stars go one-on-one with the wannabes. Remember, it's not just how many you score that counts, it's how you play the game. Who gets your vote? Who'll be the next legend? Street ball. Friday at 7 on ESPN Classic.
Borg is 4-1, 5th set, very close to winning his 6th French Open Championship. And if Lendl is going to perform some work of magicianship, he's got to do it very, very quickly now. 1-4 down serving.
That's wide. Well, Jerry, twice in this French Open final, Borg has been a setup. Lendl has come back. Twice in the tournament leading up to this final. In the 6 matches that it took Lendl to get here, he was 2 sets to 1 down and won. He knows he can do it. And he made a good start by breaking Borg's serve in the previous game.
Borg inexorably continues to do what he does. If you walked into this stadium now and you knew Borg, you wouldn't be able to tell from anything, any way he's playing or the way he's looking. You would have no idea whether this is the first game of the match or as we are here in the 5th set at 4-1 to Borg. Nothing changes. Borg doing what Borg does. but still doing what he does.
15-40.
At this point in any sporting contest, you go back to basics. You do what you know you can do under the greatest pressure. Lendl wants to be at the back playing like this. And there's only one man better in the world at doing it, and he's playing him.
This is a public heartbreak.
Yeah, that's a break in every sense. The only game Lendl has won in this set has come on the Borg serve. And now, Borg just one game away. You see, 3 hours and 10 minutes, it's just been mesmeric. And Borg on the verge of breaking another record. Lendl can now afford to let swing.
Serving for the championship.
15-0.
That was tired. It should be tired too. There yet. Exactly the right shot.
15-0.
Lendl's top half of his body and his bottom half might be going in slightly different directions at the moment. You feel for him.
Yeah, it's cool. A bit late, but it's 40-15, and these are two championship points, and this truly has been, if it's in the past tense, it has been a classic in endurance and concentration and desire. Tried that at the last minute, changed his mind. Borg's done this 5 times before here at Roland Garros. This is his sixth French Open championship, and he would not be moved.
Well, he may be moved by a very strong and gutsy Ivan Lendl in the future, but for the moment, the present is very much beyond Borg. 6 French Opens, it wasn't possible before he actually did it.
And the French here laud their 4 musketeers, one of whom at least is up there waiting for the presentation. But this is the great, indomitable Swedish musketeer, and they'll talk about him forever and ever. So the story today is that Borg's reign here in Paris continues. And you begin to wonder more and more and more as he comes forward to receive the congratulations of Philippe Chatrier. You wonder more and more and more who is going to end it and when.